This is how to make Claire Saffitz soft and crispy focaccia from her new book Dessert Person. We use garlic, rosemary, and we have a very crispy bottom, also a very crunchy top. I will show you how to make it by hand because in her videos and in her book, I think she recommends using a stand mixer, but we don't have one, so I'll show you how to make it much easier for yourself. I have reduced the ingredients because I wanted a smaller bread, but I will include Claire's full recipe and ingredients in the description box below, as well as my reduced version. Add flour, yeast, and salt to a bowl. Be sure to put your yeast and your salt at opposite ends of the bowl. Combine those ingredients, then add lukewarm water and mix. This is also a relatively low knead to no knead procedure because the dough tends to be quite soft. So I will show you how to go about handling the dough without too much frustration at it being so soft. Continue using your wooden spoon if you'd prefer, but at this point I decided to switch to my hands just to loosely bring the dough together. Once you have a shaggy dough formed or some type of ball has come together, go ahead and stop. I took it a little further, but you don't need to. Pour olive oil over your dough, then you are going to mix it around in the bowl to make sure it's fully coated and the edges of the bowl are well greased. Then you are going to get some clear wrap or saran wrap. You're going to cover this dough and put it in the fridge for at least 12 hours. So it's better to do this dough overnight if you want a low knead to no knead method or if you can't be bothered with such a sticky dough. Your dough has rested overnight, it will have increased in volume and size, and you will see tiny bubbles on the surface of the dough. Oil your hands and pour some olive oil on top of the dough. We will do a series of lift and fold. Turn the bowl at a 90-degree angle, lift and fold, and repeat for about 4 times. If your dough is unwilling to cooperate, do not despair. You can simply lift one edge of the dough, turn it over onto itself, lift another edge of the dough, turn it over onto itself, and repeat until you folded the dough in. As I mentioned earlier, my dough is smaller, so I just need a small loaf pan. But if you're doing the full recipe amounts, go ahead and use a sheet tray or sheet pan. You do want to make sure whatever pan you use is very well oiled. Transfer your dough to your pan and you can gently try to spread it apart, but do not fuss with the dough too much. If it doesn't want to spread, leave it alone for 15 minutes, come back and try to spread it again. You could also do nothing, just put the dough in the pan and it will expand all on its own and fill out the edges of the pan. Pour olive oil over the dough in the pan. There is no such thing as too much olive oil in this recipe. Also, make sure you oil that cling wrap that you're about to put on top of the pan. Leave the dough in a warm spot on your counter or in your oven and do not touch it for anywhere between 2 to 4 hours or until it has significantly puffed up and doubled in size. While the dough is proofing, go ahead and make your topping. Clear Saffitz use olive oil with rosemary and garlic, so that is exactly what I'm going to use today. The chili flakes are optional, and by optional I mean a must. And I just really like garlic, so I went ahead and added some more, but you don't have to. My dough has risen in volume and filled out the corners of the pan. I am going to oil my fingertips and do what is called dimpling. Dimpling is when you use your fingertips to go down into the dough, making little pockets of air bubbles all across the dough. Once my dough is adequately dimpled, I am going to add the topping of rosemary and garlic, chili flakes all over. If you have flaky sea salt or any type of flaky salt, this would be a good time to sprinkle some on top. I only had fine pure sea salt, which I think worked just as well. I went ahead and covered my dough just until I preheated my oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it's preheated, I'm going to pop this in the oven and bake it for about 20 minutes. And there you have it. It came out beautifully. It smelled so fragrant. The rosemary and the garlic, they play so well together. My house smelled like Italy. I was impatient about getting my bread out of the pan, but don't be like me. Take your time, allow it to cool for a little bit, then take it out. Oh, I just slammed the garlic and the rosemary all over the place, but it's okay. I smeared them back on top once I was done. I'm really happy I tried this, guys. It was my first time having focaccia and my second time trying one of Claire Saffitz recipes. I made her lemon tart the other day, which I will link in the description box and also somewhere here across the screen. Please try it. Let me know how it goes for you. But this one was so yummy, and you can have it with anything that you would like, something savory, something sweet. We've got those beautiful bubbles because we took our time and we made this right. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.